So right here, this could be wind energy, and now the wind energy on the building, as it turns, the lights can change and it can be part of a light show for the building. So turning wind energy and solar energy into something that's ugly, into something that adds beauty, because the panels at night can be designed to radiate certain colors or certain things that, since it's not collecting energy, they can add an ambiance. So even the shape of the solar, it can be like these curves of a woman, right? The panels don't have to be square. The solar panels can be a design itself. And there'll be gapping or separation so you can see the design, but you can do solar panels vertically and horizontally so you can see the gap. See, they put them all horizontal, but the patterns can be like tiles. You ever see bricks? And I showed you in Chinatown, they lay the brick horizontal and then they lay the brick vertical to create patterns. So that's what you can do. You still get the coverage, but the solar panels are now vertical and horizontal, and then within this, you can create all kinds of configurements with the solar panels. Instead of this like black, ugly thing, it can actually be this beautiful design. It can be this mosaic. So you can turn solar panels, now it won't be the colors, but it will be a black colored statue that has these different mosaic shapes. And so you can create solar and wind to be incredibly beautiful. And that's the problem with it. It's freaking ugly. But it doesn't have to be ugly. They can create it into these immense, beautiful patterns and that, and incorporate it into the building where it adds elegance and beauty. Instead of this ugly thing that's like this black hole, the solar panels. So again, adding this, and then in the dining room, the plates, you can have plates that are battery operated that keep temperature. Adding a battery into a plate, you can have a plate keep a temperature itself. The outer rims and the plate would be warmed to a certain temperature, and because the plate is battery powered, it stays a certain temperature so the food doesn't get cold. So Chicago could be on the cutting edge of all of this, and the dining room experience with the sight, the sound, the plates and the colors and everything else with the food, and then integrating the colors of the plate and the sizes of the plate, and then you can make the plate into different shapes. And so it comes out like they do with sushi. They have the boat, right? The sushi boat, and they actually deliver it in an old Japanese boat. So think of delivering things not in the conventional way. Deliver them in a way that's an art form itself. And so the experience that these places have here are nothing. The piano, like at Howling at the Moon, they can have lighted keyboard. The keys on the keyboard can be light when they hit them. The keyboard itself, as they strike them, the piano can change colors itself. So the keys can change colors as they touch them, and the piano can change colors. And the keys and piano become a light show. And so you can create these amazing things. Howling at the Moon. Robo was one of our DJ. Now, he DJ'd and he was a piano player. He had 2 jobs. He was the only one. Oh, no, we had 2 DJs. There was Jeff, too. That was a DJ and a piano player. So the DJ worked in our piano bar called Baja Live. 2 of them did. They spun, and they were good DJs, and they were also the piano player. So that's another thing. If you bring down people from getting drunk, you bring down the violence. And so if you can bring down the violence, you can bring up the pleasure. As I found out, my numbers went way up. As I brought the violence down, the sales increased. When the violence went up, the sales went down. And vice versa. When the violence goes down, the sales go up. And that's what Chicago doesn't get. So you can create this experience, and they're not creating this immense experience, and it doesn't seem Chicago wants to be on the cutting edge. We have culinary schools, we have art schools, we have dancing, like Hubbard Street Dance Academy that I wanted to go to, but anyways, there's Hubbard Street Dance Academy, and you can take, like, adult entertainers can take classes at Hubbard Street Dance Academy, and they can learn. There can be a choreographer there, and they can learn new routines at the Hubbard Street Dance Theater. And then you can have the song and dance. You know, on the Spirit of Chicago, the servers are also the entertainers. And so it's a dinner theater. Yes, the servers are also the entertainers. And so you go out on the Spirit of Chicago, and they serve you, but they're also part of the entertainment. And so you can have this dance, this theatrical theater. And the Spirit of Chicago and Anita D and others can do it way better. They can bring the sound, the smell, the incredible experience. Like we have Tao, which is new, which can be more on the cutting edge. And this can further itself as an American Chinese and go to Taiwan and Singapore and China, Beijing, Shanghai, as an American Chinese experience. An American Chinese experience. They would have the American flag next to the Chinese flag, the American flag next to the Taiwanese flag, the American flag next to the Singapore flag. And it would be this American Asian experience. And so they can be on the cutting edge of delivering it. Even in the casino here at Belly's. So these are launching pads to something greater than thyself. So what was intertwining the carpeting, truly, and everything adds into the whole experience. And so this casino could be creating an incredible conspiracy. I love Pizza Uno. But the experience, and this is the Italian eatery, and I love this place. I do. It's awesome. And so it brings fine Italian, and it can enhance the experience itself as well. So you have Donald Trump here, and the reason that I'm down on him is because I'm sick and tired of this constant, it's all negativity that comes out. The comedians cutting on him, everything. It's just like, it's so toxic and so poisonous that it really, after a while, you think our country is just a piece of garbage. Every so often, he might do something and you talk about him, but it seems every freaking night, and they do, every night they rip on him. And the only thing they do is rip on Donald Trump every night. And it makes the country a laughing stock. I understand, like the French leader had a moment on the plane. Okay, there's a moment. And then they can play that moment, and that moment goes by, and he does other things that are redeeming and so on. but they make it every night. This affects the Trump International Hotel. He doesn't understand. This affects his brand. As they say these things, how many Democrats stay here? And before, they showed their ass right here on the whacker to the Trump Hotel. And the Democrats weren't coming to this hotel. The Democrats were basically boycotting the Trump Hotel. And they lined up here. I put the video, and they lined up and dropped their pants and bent over and said, screw you, Donald Trump. It's killing his hotel brand. It's killing his brand. He's not winning. It is poisoning. I bought Trump cufflinks, and I still have them. They're nice. But the thing is, it doesn't say Trump on them, so I can wear them, and they're just a nice set of cufflinks. You have to look on the backside where his stuff is. And so that way I can wear them without being ashamed of wearing something Donald Trump. I was proud when he got elected the first time. The market took off, and people were wrong, and things were initially approving. And that was very good. Trump is destroying everything for his future, for his kids. He's destroying the image of his brand. Truly, if he's such a joke, why would people want to invest? I don't see anyone investing in people that have these diminishing qualities like that. I see them going under. It's like the head of the Magellan Fund. He went outside the prospectus. Or Michael Milken. He went outside and did things illegally in the bond market. And they plummeted. Michael Milken was one of the greatest bond traders ever. But you have Ken Griffin, who, God forbid that he does some criminal act, that he's at least acknowledged as the king of convertible bonds. And Richard Branson, do you hear this negative about Richard Branson? No. Virgin has an incredibly good brand, and he's staying virgin, meaning his brand is staying pure. And Richard Branson just keeps on making better things with his brand. I've never heard a bad thing about Richard Branson. My friend Shoshana, who's a Democrat, worked for him, and she does Lighthouse for the Blind, and she did gifted students. She worked with these gifted students. But she used to work for Virgin Records. And she was a ghostwriter for Oprah's husband. She's a very smart, intellectually gifted female. And we used to be very good friends. I don't know why she chose to be less of a friend. That was on her. I didn't abandon her. She abandoned me. But the whole point is that he has a very good brand, Virgin. And I love the Virgin record stores. And those stores can come back. They just have to modernize. And you can buy records at the store that they send you via digital. So you still come in and you listen to the music and you select and they talk about the music. But now when you purchase it, it can go to your website. They can add it to your Apple's iTunes site. Or they can add it to your Spotify site. And so you buy a license for it. And it becomes a part of your private collection. So if Spotify goes away, it's all yours, and Spotify has to give you your digital. So it has to go to a storage unit. And you can download from there. But if a company goes under, all those digital assets have to go into storage. And you're allowed to access those digital assets from storage. So they have to set it up where the industry has its own protection. So if a digital company goes under, people don't lose all their digital property. So it's like Audible. If that closes down or changes, I don't want to lose my books I paid for. I paid for all those books. I own them. So I want my Audible books. I own them. So if I stop paying my account, they can't take the books away. Those are my books. That would be theft. So they have to give me the ability to download my books. And I can download them to my phone or my computer or a separate drive. But those are my books. So when I separated from Smart Office, what did Smart Office do? They gave me back all my content. It was my content. And so they sent me all the files that I had on their system. And look it up. Talk to Smart Office. They don't own it. I own it. They don't have the right to delete it. It is my fucking property. Just like Facebook. It's not Facebook's property. It's my fucking intellectual fucking property. And if Facebook closes down, I want all my fucking posts. I fucking own them. And Facebook has to keep them in archive and give them to me. They just don't go away. That's their obligation of being a social media site. And when you put people on, it's not vapor on paper. It doesn't go away. And I fucking own that history. And so they must give it to me. Just like Smart Office. Anything I did on it was mine. I was just using their service. But I own the fucking content. Even if they say it can be used in Reels, which they did on Instagram and that, it doesn't mean I don't own the content. It's still all fucking mine. Even if I agree for them to use it and post and share it, it's still my shit. So understand that. It's just like YouTube. Anything I post on it, I fucking own. They're making their money by providing a service to people to search content, just like the browsers do. And they get advertising and other things from people searching. So I drive people there. That's what they say with their content providers. And I told them they should be more choosy in their content providers. Because they're taking an obligation. And so if the content isn't driving their business, then the content shouldn't be on their platform. Because it's a two-way street. You want access to their pipeline, and they want good content. And so they need to be choosy. That separates them out. The quality of the content. And so they don't understand this, and it makes their platforms very vulnerable. Because they get in an arrangement, and these people go to these sites because they can find them on these sites. And so they get quality providers, and they'll keep on going to YouTube, finding those providers, like Geography by Jeff. Now, the thing is, how long can he keep on doing his geography stuff? Is he going to get into the geography of the moon? Because if I was him, I would. Or the geography of the ocean? Or the geography under lakes? Because now they're mapping the ocean and mapping the rivers and mapping the lakes, the geography under them. It is all geography. And so he has to figure out where he's going into the future, or he'll be out of business eventually. Because there won't be any more mapping to talk about. He will exhaust his stuff. Because countries are becoming more stable, not more volatile. And so the geographies aren't really changing. So if he wants to stay in business, he has to have a futuristic guy. Where are you going in 10 years? Because if I'm investing in geography for Jeff, I want to know where it is today and where it is going tomorrow. I want to know what this geography is going to involve. When he's going to open up in China, when he's going to open up in Taiwan, truly, and focus on getting those audiences. So I want to know what the progression. Warren Buffett doesn't invest in anything unless it has like a 20-year lifespan that he knows for the next 20 years that it will be around. He doesn't invest today that's gone tomorrow. That's why he went into the hamburgers and Dairy Queen. Ice cream evolves. Hamburgers evolve. Chicken evolves. But it will be around 20 years from now. There's other people that are competing, but it doesn't mean you can't improve your poultry. It doesn't mean you can't improve your beef. And that's what they don't understand. That's how you respond to competition. You improve your product. And so you refine how you feed your cattle, how you raise your cattle, how much sunlight, the type of water, like they do in Japan. They massage their cattle. I mean, you improve your product in response. So you don't want people to drift. So it makes it harder for competition